Gypsy Rose Blanchard reveals separation from her husband 2 months after saying his D is fire. Gypsy Rose Blanchard, known for her involvement in her mother's death, announced her separation from her husband, Ryan Scott Anderson, after 3 months of marriage. Their relationship blossomed through letters during her incarceration, leading to a jailhouse wedding. Blanchard expressed the need for self-discovery after moving in with her parents. Before her release from prison, she discussed plans for a reception. Gypsy Rose Blanchard announces split from husband Ryan Scott Anderson. Taking to a private Facebook account, Gypsy Rose Blanchard recently announced the end of her marriage to Ryan Scott Anderson, just 3 months after being released from Chillicothe Correctional Center in Missouri, where she served 7 years of a 10-year sentence for her involvement in the death of her mother, Dee Dee. Blanchard and Anderson first connected in 2020 when the special education teacher wrote a letter to Blanchard in prison. In July 2022, the lovebirds tied the knot in a jailhouse ceremony. In her Facebook post, Blanchard announced her separation from her husband and expressed the need for time to rediscover herself, stating, "People have been asking what is going on in my life. Unfortunately, my husband and I are going through a separation, and I moved in with my parents' home down the bayou. I have the support of my family and friends to help guide me through this. I am learning to listen to my heart. Right now, I need time to let myself find who I am," she added, per Daily Mail. Prior to their split, Blanchard defended her husband from online trolls, noting that his D is fire and that they are very in love with each other. Gypsy Rose Blanchard was excited to move in with Ryan Scott Anderson and have a redo wedding. In an interview with People magazine before her release from prison in December, Blanchard expressed her intention to marry Anderson again once she regained her freedom. "We do plan on having a reception redo wedding with all of our family and our friends, and the dress and the cake and everything, because we deserve that. I deserve that. He deserves that," she said. "Our prison wedding was just something to where we can make our vows to each other. It was something that meant something to us. And I think the party is kind of for everybody else and us, but mostly for everybody else." After her release from prison, Blanchard, who had never cohabitated with a man before, shared her excitement about moving in with Anderson. "I've never lived with a man. I grew up with a mom, so I didn't even grow up with a dad in the house. So I'm like, I don't even know what it's like to live with a man," she said. She admitted to second-degree murder of her mother, Dee Dee. Blanchard came into the limelight in 2015 when she faced charges for her involvement in the death of her mother, Dee Dee Blanchard, who sustained fatal 17 stab wounds inflicted by Nicholas Godejohn, Gypsy's boyfriend. Admitting to second-degree murder, Blanchard confessed to providing Godejohn with a knife to carry out the fatal stabbing while she remained in the bathroom. Godejohn, also arrested and charged, received a life sentence without parole for the murder. Further investigations revealed Dee Dee's history of subjecting her daughter to unnecessary medical treatments, portraying Gypsy as ill, which led to Gypsy pleading guilty in 2016. Her defense cited Munchausen syndrome by proxy, a form of child abuse where caregivers fabricate or induce illness in children for attention. Godejohn, convicted of first-degree murder, received his sentence in 2019. Gypsy Rose Blanchard apologizes for her lack of accountability. In a TikTok video posted in March, Blanchard issued an apology to those she may have offended with her initial lack of accountability following her release from prison. She acknowledged her mistakes and expressed, "I'm learning. I take accountability for my part, and I'm saying this right now. I'm taking accountability. I did a bad thing." Shortly afterward, she deleted most of her social media presence, including her Instagram account with millions of followers. Why she took a break from social media? In another TikTok video, she explained her decision to step away from the limelight, citing a conversation with her father, who reminded her of the importance of real-life connections over virtual interactions. I had a really good conversation with my dad, and he gave me some guidance that I feel like I really needed. And that guidance was that real life is something you can touch, something you can feel, people you can actually hug, she said. Blanchard expressed feeling overwhelmed by the scrutiny and analysis she faced after her release, describing social media as a roadway to H. According to reports, her parole officer advised her to deactivate her accounts so she won't get in trouble and go back to jail.